Yes.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Carrie. I don't know if you've probably seen my name around because I'm like Carol as my government name. But I go by Carrie. So that's me. I live in Pittsburgh. I have two kids and I've been coaching for about a year. Since actually September of last year is whenever I launched my business. And just to give you guys some background on me and how I started my business. So I've been using Beachbody programs for 4.5 years. And my upline, she found me on Instagram, basically just sharing my progress as I went. And when I started, it was just like a DVD, so like the 21 Day Fix DVD off of Amazon. My husband thought I was literally insane because he's like a giant meathead gym rat. And he was like, that's never going to work. Like, you're crazy. Just go to the gym. And I was like, I can't, don't have a babysitter. So I started using the DVDs and I had this like really amazing transformation. I fell in love with it and I just did like DVD after DVD after DVD. I had my daughter, and after I had her, they came out with like the streamable service. And I just fell in love with it. Like I became obsessed pretty much, got amazing results after her. And I was working as a waitress at a diner. So I worked at the same diner for like 12 and a half years. And I we were having trouble with childcare because both of my kids are super close in age. They're like a year and a half apart. And my husband works like these like crazy insane hours. And I had this lady on Instagram who like kept telling me that I should be a coach. And I had mentioned it to my husband, basically saying like, so there's this lady on Instagram who basically told me that she thinks I'd be a good coach. I'm like, and I've really been like thinking about it. Like, I feel like maybe I could do it. And my husband was like, I've been telling you that for years. Like, you need to just do it. And I'm like, you're crazy. Like, I'm never going to be able to coach. Like, it was like in my head, but like, I just never thought I could do it. And again, I was waitressing on the weekends. And I remember coming home and basically saying to my husband, like, is this really it? Like, is this all we're going to do? Like, are we just going to live paycheck to paycheck? Am I just going to go to work? We're going to basically football the babies off. You're going to be late to work every weekend. I'm like, what happens when they go to school? Like, I'm going to be working every single weekend because that's the only days that I make enough money to pay for the groceries. Like, what are we going to do? And I remember him saying to me, like, you should just really try that coaching thing. I'm like, you're nuts, you're nuts, you're nuts. Fast forward one day, this lady was yelling at me over a bagel, and I'll never forget it. I literally went out the back door and I came home and I'm like, I'm just going to do it. I'm like, what do I have to lose? But like in the back of my head, I'm like, you have everything to lose, you idiot. So I'm the oldest of 5 kids. My dad's a criminal. Like, and as you're coming on, if you could just mute, because I'm all over the place as it is. So my dad's a criminal, and my family's like super poor. I'm from a really small town. My family's really well known for like being like drug addicts and stuff. And so I was like, no one's ever going to want me to be their coach. Literally, this was the dumbest idea I ever had. So I threw my apron in a garbage can and I launched my business the next day. When I started my business, I still never thought I could do it, which brings me to just like having like a belief. Like, I literally really did not think I could do this business. Like, my upline was literally like telling me every day, like, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And I was like, no, I can't. No, I can't. Like, even after I launched, like, I literally thought I was losing my shit. Sorry for my language. And then basically, my first check was like $50. And I was like, great. Now I really screwed up. I'm like, that is not going to pay for my groceries. Like, oh my goodness. So my next paycheck, for some reason, like, I don't know why, like something just kept telling me like, just keep going, just keep going. And then my next paycheck was like $300 or something. And we went to the grocery store, and I'll never, ever forget it. Me and my husband were like pushing the cart, and we like stocked up on like all these groceries, and I like looked over and he was like, oh my God. He's like, I feel like relief. And I'm like, are you about to cry? Like, my husband literally is like the Hulk. And I'm like, are you about to cry? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, what? Like, why? And he was like, you paid for this. He's like, and it's just such a relief. And like at that moment, I was like, holy crap, I could pay for my groceries like every single week. Like, I could do this. I could pay for my groceries every week. So I went home and literally it was all over from there. Like as soon as I realized I could pay for my groceries and that I could actually do it and that I could actually seriously make some money doing this, I came home and I've literally been working every single day since, literally just working to pay my groceries. And um, eventually, you know, it went from groceries to like, whoa, like we could like buy a house and like pay off our cars and like we could do all this wonderful stuff because like I'm actually building a legit business here. Um, and so essentially now, so in January of last year, right, I was just a diamond coach, like just diamond. Diamond is 12 people, which I know that we, you know, really make it a great goal. And it is a great goal. It's wonderful, but it really is only 12 people. And so I was just like sitting there as a diamond coach, really just, I was happy, right? I was content with where I was because I was paying for my groceries every single week. That meant the world to me, right? And then I realized like, this could be so much more. And by December of that same year, I went from diamond coach to 5-star elite coach, you know, and really have really, really big goals this year. And so, you know, basically now you guys know me and a little bit about my story. I'm going to tell you how I basically did it. And it's crazy because, you know, just to like backtrack a little bit, this past weekend at Super Saturday, they asked me to talk about I was on the panel and they were asking me to basically talk about what I've done to go 5-star elite in this amount of time. And it's crazy because I think they expected me to say something like super profound, like this amazing answer. But I promise you that everything that I know Lisa is telling you to do is literally the answer, but it's just like about 10xing those behaviors to really build like a massive, massive business. Okay. So my day to day is probably a little bit different than yours. And I think that too, you really need to judge where you want your goals to be in your business. So like if you want to build a part-time income, you know, obviously you don't need to do as much as me. So don't let this call scare you away. But for me, like I never had anything as a kid. Like I've never been on an airplane. We never went to like, my dream was like always to go to Disneyland when I was a kid, you know, and like when I realized that this business could really give my kids a life that I never did, I was like, okay, hold up. Like, I'm going to do this stuff. Like, I'm going to literally every day when my feet hit the freaking floor, I'm going to have this insane vision that I'm literally taking my entire family to Disneyland, right? Because we never had that as kids. It was like electric bill or Christmas kind of stuff. Okay. So I was like, I'm going to literally, my mom's never working on a holiday again. Like, and every morning when I get up and my feet hit the floor, like I have my vision everywhere. Like all year last year, I literally had it plastered on the wall. I'm sitting in my room in a corner right now, and it would be sitting right in front of me. So if you have big goals in this business, I know as corny as it is, you need to get a crystal clear vision of where you're going, like crystal clear with a why that is just totally drivable. Like that your why needs to drive that vision so strong that every morning when you're tired and you don't want to get up when that alarm goes off, that you're getting up, right? Because you have this insane vision, you know? And so every morning for the last year, like when I got my elite call, all I could picture was like me, like that alarm would go off and I would think about my mom and I'm like, my mom's never working on Christmas. I'm getting up. And I got up every single day. So like, you need to have a vision that is really, really strong and you need to visualize it every single day because, right, this business is simple, but it's certainly not easy. And so when those not so easy times are there, we need to remember why we're here and really sack up. Okay. So that's the first thing, killer vision. The second thing is really nailing down your behaviors and trusting in them, obviously, and knowing that you're not like totally, you know, wasting your time or something, whatever. So my processes are probably a little different than what you're used to. So I'm not a fancy person. I've literally built my business with this. Hold on 1 second. A binder, literally. This is what I use. And so every day you want to make sure that you're working from a list. Okay. So like if you're not working from a list, start one tomorrow. Okay. So that you know what you're doing every single day. Because for me, now I'm going to be honest, you know, if you want to build a massive business, you're going to be making a lot of sacrifices. All right. If you're putting in an hour a day and you want to make $1 million company, that doesn't even make sense. You know, you cannot, and I'm sorry, I'm so rough around the edges with the way I talk, but you cannot have $1 million dream and a minimum wage work ethic, right? Your why has to drive your work ethic so hard that you like are not backing down like for nothing, you know? So every day you're going to work from a list, right? And now you need to think, okay, so how much time do I actually have to put into this business? I spend about 2 hours in the morning. That's like in the cracks though, because my kids are getting up and I'm letting them watch TV and getting juice and snacks and whatever else. So in the morning, it's about 2 hours in the cracks. And then nap time's like hustle mode, like straight hustle mode, every single nap time. That's 2 hours. And then usually in the evening, I have like 2 or 3 hours, depending if my husband's home. Now, I do that about 3 days a week. And then Monday, I work a good bit because my husband gets off early. So I work from like 3 to like 9. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, I work from like 7 in the morning till like 3. So I treat my business like an actual business and I hustle my butt. But then it's nice because like on Saturday nights when my business is slow, I'm able to check out. Sunday afternoons, I'm able to check out. Thursday nights, I'm able to check out for a little bit. So I do set those working hours, but I also have the ability, like my son has 1 kidney, asthma, a bunch of madness. Whenever he's sick, I'm like, okay, like I'm done for today. I got to go be with my kid, and that is just a beautiful freaking thing. Right. But you got to be willing to put those hours in. You really, really do. I mean, now when I started and I was building, I didn't have that amount of time because his schedule was different. So when I started building the momentum, it was probably like 2 to 3 hours a day, tops. Okay. So work from a list, get ready for the hours. And, my list is a little different. So, and I think Lisa, you wanted me to go over what's on this list.
Yeah, if you could just
Yeah.
share a little bit more about the activities you do, and then maybe just talk a little bit about, your social media, like if you're just primarily Instagram or kind of how you work that.
Okay. So on my list, a couple things. So I follow 500 people a day. That's not negotiable, which might seem like a lot to you guys, but like I swear to you, it's not. Um, you can do it when you're on the toilet and think places. So where do you like to hang out? Where does your target market hang out? Okay. So instead of like a TV show or like a magazine like that you like to read where there's like a really broad market, think of somewhere that you like to go, that you like to hang out, and go and follow all of its followers every time you're on the toilet. And it'll add up to 500. It takes me 10 minutes a day to follow 500 people. Make sure that you break it up, because if you do it all at once, Instagram is going to kick you. Okay. As far as my social media accounts, though, they're both private, Facebook and Instagram. When I started my business, I was more on Facebook, and now I'm more on Instagram. Okay. So, because when I really didn't have an Instagram when I started, it was just kind of like there, kind of. I was just using it off and on. It wasn't anything crazy. So that's how I built my following, is 500 people a day, not negotiable. I add 30 people on Facebook every single day. And it's kind of the same deal there. I just go to like your basic groups or places, same deal. Happy birthday messages, obviously check into my challenge group. I try to post 3 times a day on each media, usually like my kids, some kind of a quote or a meme, and then my fitness post. Stories are on here. And then I get into my inviting process, which my inviting process is lengthy, but I do get a lot of business off of my invites. And so 10 invites is not going to get you to Success Club 50. I have hit Success Club 50 to 80 every single month since March between my accounts. And I do the same thing every single day. And it's crazy because I promise you, if you implement this, it's going to work and you're going to hit a lot of high SC numbers. Okay. So this is what I do. So I go into my story viewers every morning when I wake up, when I'm drinking my pre-workout. And I do what I call logging. So I go in and I log all of my story viewers. So I go to any person who's newly watching my stories and I just say, hey, thanks for following my fitness journey on my stories. Have a good day. I leave it at that. I don't invite, nothing. Even if they respond, I still don't invite them. I just like let it go. When I'm done logging, I screenshot my inbox. So that helps me keep track better. So I screenshot it. Do not work from your messenger. As soon as you say thank you to everyone, screenshot it, because Instagram will kick them, especially Instagram. So then 2 days later, I go back to those screenshots and I invite all the people that I have on the screenshot list. So I write their names down and then I just send the invites out. Okay. And then it's the same exact process with my posts. So, hey, thanks for the love on my client's transformation. Have a nice day. And then 2 days later, go back and invite. I send minimum 30 a day. Okay. So 10 invites. I know people say like 10 invites is great. 10 invites is great. Look, if you're at Diamond and you're trying to go 2-star, 5-star, whatever, you have to send more than 10 invites. You got to send like 30 to 50 a day. Okay. And you'll really, really notice like a giant jump in your business. And I really never send more than 50 because I don't really do any cold invites, you know. And then the other thing I do is I go to my new followers. And again, I am private, so it's a little bit easier for me to track who's following me. And I basically just go in and send them like a welcome message, like, hey, thanks so much for following my page. I hope to motivate you or whatever. Have a good day. And then I send those out. And then when they've been watching my stories, so like when I'm logging my stories in the morning, if they've been watching for 2 weeks, I go in and invite those people. So that's also where the consistency factor comes in on your stories, you know, like just being super consistent there, because when they're watching you for 2 weeks straight, right? And then you invite them, I do get a pretty good success rate out of that. So I think that's really, really big too. And I do the same thing on both platforms, Facebook and Instagram, every single day, super consistent about it. And then that's literally it. That's my system. It's that simple. And then following a script, using voice memos is super, super important. I use the same script every single time. Using voice memos is super, super important, like for sure. And then really too, like whenever I realized like, wait a second, like I'm sitting here at Diamond and I really want to get this second business center open. I really, really want to get it open because I was still a Diamond, I think in like July and August is when I started like rank advancing, when I realized like, wow, maybe I should start building a team sometime soon. So I would basically I was going to my challengers and I already had 2 coaches that were previous challengers, you know, just basically going in and saying, hey, like, you know, I think you'd be a really good coach. I'm just loving your energy. And I would really just speak from my heart and just say how I felt and say that I wanted to work with them and then get them on like a sneak peek call kind of deal, and have them start. And basically what I did is I really just developed really, really good relationships with my coaches. So like my coaches that were working, I really worked hand in hand with them every single day, really just loving them, loving hanging around them. Obviously, they're my people. They're wonderful. And then working with them and saying like, okay, this is what you're going to do today, like training them like an actual job and teaching them and giving them the success, spending the extra time is really what shifted my business from Diamond to 1-star, between that and getting like the high SC and the massive, massive numbers. So that's about it. What else did you want me to talk about? I did make a list, but.
When you do your invites, so you don't really have you said between 30 and 50, but it just kind of depends on how many you have screenshot from the previous 2 days or.
Mm-hmm. It depends on how many people I've screenshotted from the past 2 days. And then, how many people are liking my post, because I try not to like spam invite, you know what I mean? Cause it makes me feel weird. And I did try it though. Like I would go on my Instagram and just like invite my followers just to see what happened. And it almost felt like it was like a waste of my time. Like I was trying to get my invite numbers up and I wasn't getting much out of it. So I did experiment with it, but 30 to 50 really seems like a sweet spot for me. Never less than 30, usually never more than 50. Just depends on who my new people are and like how well my post did. But I also invite off of all of my posts from the day. So like even off of like quotes or family, they're still getting an invite.
Can you share what you might say in an invite?
Yeah, I just basically, I go in and I'm just like, it's pretty simple. I'm about to read you one because I basically just say, hi, I notice you following along in my stories. I appreciate the support and wanted to invite you to my next virtual fitness group. Do you think you'd want to hear details about it?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty simple, like just simple stuff, but just really 10xing every single thing. And honestly, that 2-day hold is a real pain because it's an extra step. Like you're going in, you're thanking them, you're waiting. It really works for me. And it does seem to work for my coaches pretty well. It's just that extra step and that extra work that can kind of be a pain, but it is worth it.
Awesome. Does anybody have questions? If you want to unmute and ask, Carrie, do you mind to take a few questions?
Question, if that's okay.
Sure.
Excuse me, sorry. So you send the like, hey, thanks for following along, have a great day message, and then you wait the 2 days. Do you only respond to people that have responded to you, or do you invite from the 2-day wait regardless?
Invite from the 2-day wait regardless.
Okay.
So even if they don't answer me, I still invite them. Like I'm just like, hey, you're still watching, you know?
Somebody has a question. Erica asked, what do you recommend if you're not getting 30 to 50 new people every day on posts or stories?
So that is actually a really good question. But what I actually do is connecting is super, super important. And I use the AAAB method for that. And I don't know if any of you have ever stumbled across that video on YouTube, but what I do, I go to my friends list. So on Facebook and Instagram, both. So followers list, Facebook list, whatever. And I type in a letter. So like, let's say like today I'm on TA. Okay. So I'll go in and I'll type in TA. And then I'm going to like and comment on every single person's, like, I'm going to give them 3 likes and 1 comment on every single person's page underneath TA. And then I'll do TB, and then I'll do TC. And then I keep it organized so I know where I'm at for the next day. You know what I mean? So like when I go to do my connecting, and then set a timer, you know, and if you're spending you should spend a half hour connecting on each media is basically what I do, like a half hour on Instagram and a half hour on Facebook. You're going to notice that your viewers are going to move up. And honestly, calls like this are good for me because it makes me realize like other stuff I do. Also, your lead story matters. So on your stories on your page, like if you put like a transformation at the beginning, or if you put like a quote at the beginning, or if you put you at the beginning, you're going to notice every single time you switch it, your views are either going to go up or down. So for me, I know what works better as that lead story. So if you're having trouble getting people to your stories and you're connecting and you're doing all of the things and it's still not working, switch up that lead story and then get like 20 stories up that day. And you're going to notice that you'll get more viewers for sure.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, I don't know. And I will delete all my stories too. So like every morning when I get up, I don't have ongoing stories. You know what I mean? So like I don't add to my stories from the previous day. I delete them all and then I start fresh with a first story. It's really weird.
No, I mean, obviously it works for you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So when you set up your day, do you like to do your work first and then post? Or do you have like a scheduled time of day that you post, or?
I do. So how I work my days, and I'm a mom and I stay at home, so my days are different, but my exact day is I get up at 5 a.m., I log my Instagram stories because those expire. So I log those, I screenshot, I get my workout in, and then I will erase my stories, totally erase them. And then I get on my stories every single day. And then like my workout story, you know, whatever it may be. And then when my kids are eating breakfast, I follow my first 100 people, get my happy birthdays done, check into my challenge group, add my people on Facebook, connect with my new friends on Facebook. And then I usually have my kid time then doing whatever. And then when they go down for a nap, it's like hustle mode, right? So then I write my post up. My posts do really well at 3:20 Monday through Wednesday. I don't know why. My fitness posts always do really well at those times. Thursdays and Fridays, they vary. Saturday mornings, Sunday at 9 p.m. And that's my post schedule, you know, and posting is one of those things where you have to find a good time for your market, because like for the longest time, my Sunday night posts were like exploding. And then next thing I know, they were getting like slower and slower and slower. And now they're back to getting better, but you just have to mess around with those times. Like 3:20, it's weird. If I post at 3:25, if I post at 3, it does fine. It's so weird. So then I write my posts up when my kids are napping. I spend an hour inviting usually and getting my follow-ups done. And then do some connecting usually. Then my kids get up. And then at night when my husband gets home, I will do whatever did not get done on my list. And I never, ever go to bed unless everything on my list is done. So like, I'm like punished if I don't get my list done.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a job. It's just like, if you would not get, like, if you told your boss, like, I'm really sorry, like, I just couldn't get this done today. Like, I just had to go to bed, you know, like, it doesn't work that way. So I literally, like, if my list isn't done, like, my husband's hating me, but I'm in the room still getting my list done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Can I ask, so I know you were talking about the 3 posts that you usually do. One is like a fitness post, one is a meme, one is your kids. So it sounds like you're leading a lot with fitness.
I have posted about the business one time in my entire business adventure.
Okay. So,
which is, I want to change it kind of, but like, I'm almost scared to, because it's, you know?
yes. So so you have coaches obviously that are working the business because you're a 5-star diamond coach. So how do you find those working coaches, or is it more of people who are getting good results that are?
So all of my coaches are challengers. And like, for instance, in January, so it's the middle of the month and I've recruited 10 working coaches. This is my first big month, like, recruiting them. Normally it was just like me being like really like only like selecting like a few people, but I'm realizing that I actually like to be a leader and I can actually do it. So I really went for like a recruit push, but all of my coaches are challengers. Yeah. That already like love the programs or are getting results. And just, you know, I don't know. I just like doing it that way. But like, I've been like, it's so hard to not post when you're like an elite coach. Like, I want to like share it, but I just haven't yet.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I guess it's like out of my comfort zone or something, one of those things. But I also am just like, you know what, like, the fitness is what I love and it's just what I lead with, you know?
Yeah. I think that's, you know, we've talked about it a lot on our team too, is how do you bring people in that want to work the business? And I've always led with fitness, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it works. It takes longer.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, those are the people that tend to stick around too.
I agree with you. And like, the thing is too, like, so one of my diamonds is my sister, but she runs her own business. So like, she's great. She's on her way to 1-star. And then my other 2 coaches are people who, you know, were challengers that are my diamonds. My second business center's diamond and my husband. But, you know, it really all does start with the fitness. Like, they're already loving it. They're super excited about it. Their passion's there. They're getting the results. And even if I have I'm going to tell you, the biggest thing with challengers, and I realize this, is getting them early. Like, when they come in and they're loving it, like 7 days in and they're super active, it's like, hey, do you want to be a coach? Because I've realized, like, if you wait sometimes, like, if they like ate pizza that week, they're like, I had pizza this week. Like, I cannot coach, you know? So like, getting them in that first week seems to have like a quicker success rate for me, which is what I've been doing. And I've noticed my recruit numbers going up. But, then sometimes I feel like then people like realize they don't want to coach or something like that. But, you know, I do think that it's the way to do it is fast.
Awesome. Does anybody else have questions? Don't be scared. I know we have a big mix of people on here too, you know, from
Mm-hmm.
coaches to diamond coaches to star diamond coaches. So, um, you know, it just, like you said in the very beginning, you have to define what it is that you want out of this business, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
a part-time income or a full-time career, or define what that looks like for you. And then you have to match your activities to that.
Yeah. And that really, really is key. Like, you know, it truthfully literally started out with just paying for my groceries. Like I never expected all of this. And then when I realized I could pay for my groceries, and then like, I just literally just kept going, like, you know, and I do think it is so important. And I just went over this with my team earlier today, like matching your goal, like setting a goal in this business and then like reverse engineering it, and then figuring out what you have to do every single day to get there. Like, you know, like instead of hitting Success Club monthly, I hit Success Club every single Friday, because that's $150 and that gets me my grocery order, you know? And then that really just adds up, you know? So like really figure out where you want to go and then set a date. But like, if you want to go 2-star and you're a diamond and you have people underneath your husband, like it's seriously right there. Like it's, once I had my first diamond pop and I could like see it in my back office, I told my upline, like, no more playing around. And I'm like, that's it. Cause I could like see it, you know, just know that like, if you're at diamond and you have people under your husband right now, you could literally be 2-star by the end of January. If you just like buckle down and just like, do not make it an option. Be like, I'm not backing down. I'm literally going to do every single thing in my power to hit 2-star by the end of this month. You know, how many people do you need? Like, have you diamond mapped it all? Figure out how many people you need and then reverse engineer it down to the week. You know what I mean? Because that's what I did when I needed to take John and my second business center. I was like, I'm going to have this thing diamond in 3 weeks, you know? Okay, I need 12 people. That means I need what? 3 people a week. Yep. And there you go. You're diamond. You know what I mean? Plus the emeralds, but
Yeah. You just got to do the work.
you really do. It's so crazy because my upline, she would drive me crazy when I started. She would be like, you just focus on the controllables and tell me what you can control. And I'm thinking, this lady's nuts. I'm making $50 a week of controllables. I have nothing to control, you know? But everything that like you're being told is so freaking true. Like this business is not hard. It's just, you just have to seriously like really, really work. And granted, you know, there are seasons of hustle and there are seasons of not hustle. But me, I'm like permanently in a season of hustle and extremist. Like I can't stop, you know, like that I read my elite points wrong, you know, and that last 11 days, like 21 elite points in 11 days, I'm so extreme. Like I literally had it written on the walls in my house. Like, so I could literally stare at it. Like there was no backing down. Like I would literally stare at it 3 o'clock in the morning, go out. How many more coaches do I need to hit Success Club? Who do I need to, you know, talk to tomorrow and help? It's like just that goal thing. You know, you get that goal in your brain and you figure out why you want the goal. And then you just literally do not stop until you get the goal.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you did an amazing job.
Thanks.
In building a business in a year, you know, an elite business in a year. So, and being a new coach too. I think that's, you know, important for people to see that you can have success as a new coach, and you just have to take action and do the work and figure out what that success looks like for you.
Yeah, definitely true.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out to speak with us tonight. I'm going to stop the recording now.